Hi, it's Rebecca McIntosh with the Region of Waterloo Source Protection Group. Today I'm going to take you through a quick tutorial of applying for a notice of source protection through our TAPS application. So if you have TAPS open, I'll put the link at the bottom of the video, or you can type in TAPS at Region of Waterloo into the search bar. So if you're applying for a notice, you want to click on the link that says applying for a notice of source protection plan compliance. There are other features to our TAPS application, and I'll link some videos below for a bit more detail. So you can navigate to the property that you're developing, either by address or by roll number. I'm going to pretend that we're doing a development at region headquarters. So I'll type in the address there at 150 Frederick Street in Kitchener. And the very first question you're asked about the property is if it contains a single urban dwelling. So if it's a duplex or an apartment complex, that is not considered single urban. Really, the only thing single urban is if you're doing a renovation to your single family home. So in this case, I'm going to select no. This is a little message that lets us know that based on where the property is located, there aren't any prohibitions or risk management plans that are required. I can still proceed to start the questionnaire. You might get a notice here that says there are certain policies that apply. You can click the link to learn more about the policies that apply to the property, or, as we're doing here, proceed to the questionnaire. So in order to get the notice, you do have to create an account so you can register or log in. If you've forgotten, you can enter your email address and get a new password sent to you as well. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to pretend that we're doing an addition to the building that comes out the back of the property and juts into the parking lot a little. So in this case, I will select the activities that apply to the development. So storage and application of de-icing salt will apply because we're changing the parking lot. Stormwater features, such as a stormwater pond or any infiltration gallery, that would be under this stormwater category. So we can click that as well. Really, any activities that might apply to the development that you're doing. And then it gets into more detail about each question. So de-icing salt, we are going to store de-icing salt. So we keep a small yellow bin of salt at the back door. So that would be less than a ton of salt. It's in a covered bin, so I'll include those activities. And then do we apply de-icing salt to the property? We do apply de-icing salt. And we can update the area. So it's a medium-sized parking lot, so we'll change that to 8 to 79 spaces. Throughout the TAPS application, there are links to more information as well. And now this is getting into questions about that sewage activity we selected. So you can see the stormwater activity question here. It's specific to engineered infiltration features. So on this site, now that we think more about the pretend development that we're doing, we're just going to tie into the existing stormwater network. So does not include stormwater pipes, and we're just going to tie into those. So I'm going to not select any of these activities as there aren't actually any independent features for stormwater. So nothing there applies. And then this question is about whether activities are new or existing. So there has always been a parking lot on this site and it's been salted, so it's considered an existing activity. So I'm going to go ahead and say storage and application of de-icing salt were existing. The question about existing or new properties just relates to the policies and how the source protection policies are written. Again, link to a video with a bit more detail if you're interested. This question gets into deep excavations. It's our duty under the Clean Water Act to collect data on what could be considered a transport pathway. So anything that digs deep into the ground, such as a well, a geothermal system, even an underground parking lot might apply. It doesn't impact your notice of source protection, but we are required under the Clean Water Act to collect the data. So consider the application that you're doing. If there's underground parking or any of the other activities listed here, you'll want to say yes and be a bit more information on the next page. So in this case, we're just doing an addition out the back. I'm going to say no, there are no deep excavations. So in order to get your notice again, we are required to provide property owner information. So you might be the property tenant, you might be the consultant doing the development, and here what we need is information on who actually owns the property. So the region of Waterloo owns this property, a valid email. So I'm going to put in what seems to be the most appropriate email. I am the applicant. So I don't actually own this region headquarter building, but this is me. For our purposes, I'm gonna call this test. We're probably going for a site plan approval and a building permit application. So you can select two application types by using the command or control key. In this case, we were able to get the notice of source protection. So it's generated the notice here and we have to download it from the TAPS application. So some information on the notice that is provided to you. It is based on the questionnaire that you just answered. So if any of the information is not accurate or reflects the rest of the details in the application, your notice may be deemed invalid or incomplete. So the city reviews this notice of source protection along with the other information they have on the application and determines whether the notice is valid or not. Another note on the validity of the notice, the address does have to match. So if you're developing two parcels of land, say 24 and 23 Fake Street in Kitchener, you'll have to do this process to obtain a notice for both those parcels of land. As our policies change within meters of each other, so you have to have a valid notice for each parcel that you're developing. So in this case, we were able to get a notice, so I can click on the link to download the notice. If you weren't able to get a notice, you might be directed to the risk management official, in which case send us an email and we can help you through. It may be that you require a risk management plan before a notice can be downloaded, or there's something else blocking your property. So we're able to help walk you through that if you weren't able to get the notice. So do save this notice to your computer, print it out, and your signature is required as the applicant. Eric thus is our risk management official. And the details of the notice are here based on the answers to your questionnaire. So there you go. Quick video on applying for a notice of source water protection to include with your development application to the city or the townships. See the link below for some more detailed videos.